my son was fighting and stuff like that, and he didn't want me to tell people the secret to knockout power. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I won't tell nobody. But now, since my son is full of shit now, I'm telling everybody it's jump squats. You do jump squats. It's every time when I was training for fights and I did jump squats, I knocked people out. But as soon as my knees got to where I couldn't do it no more, and my belly got a little bit too big, I couldn't do it no more. I wasn't knocking people out when I wasn't doing jump squats.
As we look at your UFC career, you're 14-4 in the UFC. I believe in your UFC featherweight, history right now with the most knockdowns with 12, right? And then you have your ranking at number 6. Giga, something happened to him, right? He had to step out. So Doug Nasty steps in, you obliterate him. And then you're obviously your training, you don't have that much time to differentiate your training. You had like 10 days, right? Mm-hmm. As a guy with that much experience, the rankings, the knockdown power, where you're at right now in the UFC, how do you kind of look at that with the veteran experience of saying, all right, this guy's stepping in for Giga. Are you completely training camp? Are you just going with the motions? I feel like we see so much of that now in the UFC, but we don't really get a behind the scenes look at how these fighters are kind of changing up their game plan going into these big fights when they have these step-in fighters.
Yeah, I feel like for me, and this is just like, talking on my behalf, in my opinion, it's like, I've never turned a fight down, and Joe Silva and Sean Shelby can contest to that. So I'm easy to work with. I've said yes to every single fight. When I have a date booked in mind, like December 16th, I was fighting, and I was training for a world-class striker. And then, of course, he got injured, and then they filled Bryce Mitchell, a world-class grappler. And so they gave me a few names. It was like Barboza, it was Bryce Mitchell, and I always go with like the guy with like the biggest like draw, like Bryce Mitchell's the most popular. He's a talented fighter. He's in the top 10. I want someone in the top 10 because I'm already ranked 6. It doesn't do a whole lot for me to fight these guys behind me anyways. It's high risk for really no reward. But at the end of the day, I had to switch a few things up, and it's like I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm like I don't care. Even though I'm training for a striker, I have a different game plan, and then I go in there and gotta go against a grappler. I focus on myself, and I'm going to go in there and just impose my will and just be relentless. I don't care who was in front of me. I was going in there to put someone away and get my hand raised and just end 2023 on a high note, because I had a tough year. I fought for the interim title earlier this year, had another tough fight. He's fighting for the title now. And I just wanted to get back in the win column. I didn't give a damn who was in front of me.